This is Earth, built to a 1-to-1 block-to-block scale, and this is a full-scale replica of one of the biggest video game cities there is. And here are 19 more of absolutely ridiculous Minecraft creations. Let's head straight up to space and take a look at this massive scale replica of the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek. Everything is exactly the same as what it looks like in the movie and TV show, including the inside. There's even custom textures to make it look even more realistic. And look, I'll be honest, Minecraft building is pretty hard. Hey, look at that! So when I saw this, I realized I may have some work to do. This is art. Literally! Chris built a 3D version of Van Gogh's Starry Night in Minecraft, with houses, trees, and of course the absolutely insane sky. Let's talk about the quality in this next absolutely gigantic build. This is Greenfield City, with a mind-boggling size of over 20 million blocks that have been placed by over 400 players. There's dozens of different districts, all with their own unique style of buildings you can explore. And the craziest part, it's not even finished, and they say they're not even a quarter of the way through. Jesus! Oh, hey doing, bro, what's up? But if you want to take realistic building to another level, you might prefer the Build the Earth project. Yeah, you guessed it. Trying to build the entire Earth to a 1-to-1 scale! Thousands of professional builders have been sculpting every mountain, tree, house, and lake in the entire world, all to be as realistic as possible. Currently, they have over 5,000 people building real places in the world right now, and you can even join them and help out. If you're anything like me though, that's not gonna happen. I hate how long it takes to build and makes things look good in survival. Well, no longer. Mango made this awesome 3D printer that automatically places sand and concrete powder, and can build pretty much anything you want. All you need to do is give it resources, start it up, and a little while later, it's done. Now that's building done easily. The SciCraft server has a never-ending supply of crazy complicated tech, but my favorite has to be the huge machines that they built to automatically remove Bedrock. They take hundreds of blocks and hours to build, and rely on extremely specific timings to create blocks that aren't usually obtainable, like headless pistons. It's a ton of effort, but just look at how cool the final effect looks. I mean, there's technically nothing to look at, but that's what makes it cool, okay? Some people are smart enough to bring real-life tech into the game. People have been creating Redstone computers for ages, but none are quite as quick as the MPU-8, a huge computer that updates over 3 times a second, and can display a ton of really cool stuff. You can tell it to write anything you want, render and display different shapes, and even play videos. Sort of. The hardest part of making a computer like this is getting it to do so many different things. So, what happens when you try to make something that only has one function? These players called Sloime and MattBatWings created this version of Microsoft Paint with only Redstone. I'll let you explain this one, nerd.
It works using embroidery and bitmaps, and Rob of
Okay, that's enough, nerd! Crazy redstone like this is super difficult, but hardcore mode is one of Minecraft's biggest survival challenges. Just fighting your way to the dragon is one thing, but it takes another kind of balls to do anything as crazy as this. A YouTuber named Sandiction actually trapped the Ender Dragon in his own world. He used a glitch which froze the Ender Dragon in the air, and then built this awesome prison around it that looks like it's actually holding the dragon in place, all while making a viral YouTube video. Trapping the Ender Dragon is cool and all, but I bet you didn't know you can actually farm it for experience. 5 years ago, RaiseWorks made this crazy design that allowed you to stay fully AFK and receive tons of XP every minute. But more recently, Fallen Breath has made a railgun-style farm that shoots a single arrow at hyperspeeds at the dragon, killing it instantly. Sandiction loves to do crazy, unique challenges in hardcore, but Looney's style is to build these absolutely massive and stunning buildings in his hardcore world. Check out this crazy glowing statue he built in survival hardcore in the end, or this ocean monument he converted into his own base, or most impressively, this absolutely massive lava palace he built on top of the nether. Looney has over 2,000 hours of playtime in his world over the last 2 years, but then he died and lost it all. Amateur. Couldn't be me. Alright, so there's a reason why I don't play hardcore, but let's check off Minecraft's more insane creative mode builds. The Lord of the Rings books and movies contain an absolutely huge and super detailed world, with villages, cities, islands, and even huge networks of underground caves. It will be an almost impossible task that will take hundreds of players to Somebody already did it. And you can even visit it on a public server. People are insane, man! The Middle-earth project is exactly what it sounds like. A team of people have come together to build a recreation of the Lord of the Rings world, including all the cities, castles, mountains, biomes, caves, and so much more. There's even descriptions for each place you visit, and warps to take you to each new location. Apart from this one. Damn, I just got memed on hard. But if you're bored of exploring in creative mode and want a more challenging experience, check out this truly gigantic maze. Called the Labyrinth of Sordrin, this maze spans over an area of 3,000 by 3,000 blocks, split into different sections, each with their own themes and challenges. The entire map is covered with traps and hidden challenges, and you're not safe at night either. If you haven't managed to find gear and food, you won't survive the horde of mobs that will spawn and hunt you down. It takes up over 3 weeks to finish it without help. And if you fall victim to any of these traps, you spawn right back at the beginning? Maybe I'll let you guys try it out instead. Tango Tech built a full-on roguelike, exploration-based multiplayer video game in Minecraft called Decked Out. The map is super detailed and is filled with secrets, traps, and enemies waiting to jump out at you at any moment. The longer you spend inside the maze, the harder it gets. The map changes, and you'll even start to be attacked by more enemies. There's even a currency, spells, and special items you have to collect to give yourself a better chance at surviving each round. Decked Out was all built in survival, and a huge area needed to be cleared out to build it. But how on earth do you clear such a big area out quickly? This question was once again answered by the geniuses at Cycraft, who have created multiple ways of automatically tearing through huge portions of the world. The oldest version of this is the World Eater. It uses TNT duplicators and flying machines to slowly bomb the world below and create huge holes in the landscape. But what if you want to keep all the resources instead of just destroying them? For that, you need a quarry instead. A totally different and even more impressive machine that uses slime to grab the blocks from below the world, moves them into a safe TNT mining chamber, and sorts everything automatically. Everyone loves a good old piston door. 1x2 and 2x2 doors are pretty simple, but 3x3? Ha! No chance, mate. Hang on, what the f is that thing? This behemoth of a door is as big as you can possibly make one. It takes up the entire world height at 384 blocks tall. It uses flying machines and observers, but to be honest, when would you ever need this? It also takes ages to open, so let's instead look at some more practical doors. A YouTuber named Avogado has made a ton of extremely impressive, small, fast doors. He's made a simple 3x3 door that opens and closes in just 0.3 seconds that you can build super easily. He's done a 4x4 door that also opens in a third of a second, another 3x3 door that closes literally instantly, and even a 10x10 door that uses minecarts, leaves, flying machines, and all sorts of other crazy stuff to open and close in under 2 seconds. This man is on a different level. Never fall into any of his traps. But let's forget about crazy redstone, and let's focus on what I think is the most incredible build ever in Minecraft. Aside from my dirt house, of course. It's this! Insane, right? In fact, it actually took the builder over 3 months to make. Okay, it might not look that crazy, but what if I told you that this and everything else in this world came from just a single grass block floating in the sky? I'm not kidding. A YouTuber called Pino has spent over 6 months building up his world from just this one block? How, you ask? Well, he started off by jumping on his block for around 20 minutes until he was low enough to be able to fall into the void and die on the first tick of damage, so he was just close enough to the block that a mob could spawn it. He did this until the mob that spawned was a zombie with an iron shovel, which took him around 2,450 attempts. Then when he respawned, he quickly positioned himself pixel perfectly so the zombie couldn't hit him and waited until daytime where it burned alive. Then he reset the world using save slots and repeatedly killed the zombie until it dropped the iron shovel. Now he just has to wait for it to snow and he crafts blocks to finally expand on. And that's just the first step. Rather you than me, mate. A more traditional challenge is to try and survive in a super flat world. It sounds simple, but trust me, there's a lot more to it than you'd think. Most people think you'd just be surviving off dirt and whatever you can find in villages, but there's actually only a small list of items you can't get in a super flat world, even if some of them are really difficult to obtain. Hang on, you're telling me I can't get dogs in a super flat world? What am I gonna take my anger out on now? Grandma, leave me alone! YouTuber Mugswamp took this to the absolute limit, and using an older version of the game, got to the end and used everything he could to build this incredible neon cyberpunk style city. This build looks super cool and is even wilder when you remember that a lot of these blocks were really hard to get. Subscribe or my grandma will not. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen to her at all. Yes.